rise and shine. Coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Headlines spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning whiz and coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning. How are you? Welcome back. Man, oh man, it is going to be crazy. Good to see you, David, Allie, David, Thunderbird. It is Wonderful Star Z, Bonnie Robinson, Katie Butch. How you doing? Killdozer, 11 Romeo. Bad weather back here. Maybe internet problems. No internet problems. It's doing good. High five from Suzuki. Good to see ya. Yes. Yeah. Hit the like button. The button. It happens. It happens. Man, oh man. I gotta say, a couple of days ago, we lost a good one. Val Kilmer. Man, oh man. He died of pneumonia following a decade-long battle with esophageal cancer. An actor's actor, Kilmer might have been best known for his iconic roles as Jim Morrison in The Doors, Doc Holliday in Tombstone. There was quite a few movies that Val Kilmer did. Top Gun, yeah, things like that. On X today, actress Jennifer Tilly, who had a minor role in The Doors, told what happened when Kilmer showed up at director Oliver Stone's cattle call audition. All of a sudden, she posted, a 60s convertible came screeching up, blaring Doors music at top volume. The guy jumped out and strode inside. He had wild hair, and he was barefoot, shirtless, and wearing nothing but a pair of tight leather pants. We all looked at each other like, who is this guy? We were more than a little shook by the sheer audacity of his entrance. Well, of course, it was Val Kilmer, and from that minute on, nobody else stood a chance. He even did his own vocals on Morrison, and if you ever have seen the movie, you know he was good. The Doors was about as historically accurate as anything else Stone has ever wrote or directed, which is to say, not at all. But that doesn't take away from Kilmer's performance. Kilmer had a reputation for being difficult to work with. Tombstone co-star Michael Biehn said that people ask me what it's like to work with Val Kilmer. He said, I don't know. Never met him. Never shook his hand. I know Doc Holliday, but I don't know Val Kilmer. Fans hardly mind the gossip when the performances shine, and Kilmer lit up other classics like Top Secret, his first role, Real Genius, which was funny, True Romance, for him in True Romance. And of course, both Top Guns. It doesn't always work, of course. Its most notorious example is the 1996 version of The Island of Dr. Moreau, starring Val Kilmer and Marlon Brando in the sinister title role. Well, it would have been sinister had it not been for Brando's wild, mumbled mess of performance. Those two egos didn't belong on the same set together. The Moreau production was one of the most notorious in Hollywood history, with pretty much everything going wrong that could, particularly the battles between Kilmer and Brando. If you'd like to take a deeper dive, the critical drinker's most disastrous movie ever made overview is 13 minutes well spent. If Kilmer's post-Moreau career never fully recovered to its 80s and 90s heights, he still gave moviegoers good reason to go watch him with fine roles in Top Gun Maverick, Kill the Irishman, Bad Lieutenant, Port of New Orleans, Heat, and David Mamet's underappreciated spy thriller, Spartan. If you've never seen that one, it's a treat. Spartan is a sleek, hard-hitting flick, punctuated by Mamet's snappy dialogue, Kilmer's intense but economical performance. He's a Special Forces operative, Robert Scott, tasked with rescuing the kidnapped daughter of the U.S. president. Kilmer is unexpectedly restrained for an action role. Kilmer also had a string of unlikely but often delightful reoccurring or one-off TV appearances on everything from Robot Chicken to Psych. Even cancer didn't slow him down much. Of his 103 IMDb acting credits since 1984, 12 of them came in the 8 years after his 2015 diagnosis, ending with his final role in Top Gun Maverick. His return as Admiral Tom Iceman Kazansky was particularly moving, since Kilmer's real-world cancer was woven into Iceman's character arc. There's no normal life, Wyatt. Doc Holliday advised Kurt Russell's Wyatt Earp. It's just life. Get on with it. Oh, man. How's it going? Rosalind, too good to see you. Yeah. Mo loves Real Genius. Even talked about the other day. Yeah, that was a really fun movie. Loved him in Tombstone. Yeah, Tombstone was awesome. Good morning. Anxiously awaiting news from Otter Creek. Kilmer was greatness. He was very eccentric. How sad how he suffered. Yeah, we're all going to be interested in seeing what happens in Otter Creek. Missed last night's stream. Had tornadoes go through your area. Power out. Still haven't slept and heading into work. Mm. I did sleep like the dead. I was exhausted after a let's see, long drive back, getting pulled over by the police in the middle of all that, and made it back. Did a nice stream with Yamaha biker last night. I forgot to put his link in there. Also known as I Have a Story. Go check him out. He's got a voice that just makes the how was it put? It makes their ovaries tingle. Something like that. Ah. Yes, Real Genius is very funny. So 1 p.m. Pensacola time, we find out what's happening. Well, 1 p.m. Eastern time. Yes, we will find out a little bit more. And it could be sooner than that. Happy to see my blue eyes. Oh, thank you, Bonnie Robinson. I appreciate you. Happy to have you, my blue eyes. Haven't slept, thunder, lightning, heavy rain, hail. Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that, really. Today is going to suck. Yes, it probably will. You fell asleep halfway through Megan's live. We had a heavy downpour. No, it's Central Time. That's right. That could be right. I think that is right. I think that Florida, that part of Florida, does hit Central because it's so close. It's so close to Alabama's. Hey y'all, how's it going, JW? Good to see you. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Well, it looks like TikTok might have found an American buyer, and it's a perfect match. President Donald Trump wants communist China-based ByteDance to sell social media platform TikTok, but serious buyers have been scarce until today. Maybe. Well, details are scarce, too. The New York Times report relies on 3 anonymous sources familiar with the bid, but what we do know is juicy. The bid was made in a letter addressed to Vice President J.D. Vance and Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick, according to one of New York Times unnamed sources. The bidder? None other than Amazon. The online retailing giant with an estimated 79 billion in cash and equivalents just beginning to be spent. TikTok, if its best class dopamine jacking algorithm is included in the sale, it's worth an estimated 100 to 200 billion. The drama is underscored by the legal battle against ByteDance that's gone all the way to the Supreme Court. Trump tried to get TikTok banned during his first term because the app is a serious national security and cultural risk. You see, the video sharing platform collects reams of data, just like privacy busting behemoths such as Meta, owner of Instagram and Facebook, and Alphabet, parent of Google, while China's ByteDance Corporation, owner of TikTok, pinky swears that data doesn't reach China. Well, you'll just have to take his word for it. And Xi Jinping's also. The Chinese version of TikTok serves its youthful audience in a healthy diet of science, technology, math, history, life skills, patriotic themes, physical fitness, etc. American version is designed to function as an enabler of social contagions, highlighting the most aberrant behaviors and conditioning its mostly younger users to think of them as normal. It's a it's a it's an app, but Democrats in 2020 called Trump 45 all kinds of bad names for wanting it banned or sold. Once the Democrats were back in power and no longer needed TikTok as a cudgel against Trump, they changed their tune. Congress passed and President Joe Biden's auto pen signed legislation last year banning the platform this year if ByteDance can't find a Western buyer. The deadline is passed. The law was upheld by the Supreme Court earlier this year, but here's where I had to say about that. At the time, suppose Congress passed a law to ban a communist Chinese spyware social malware app, and the president signed it, and the Supreme Court upheld it, but nobody made it happen. Not even Trump seems fully on board with his own proposal from 2020. What we don't know includes how much the offer is worth. Not even Amazon's impressive war chest is likely big enough. So other details shareholders of both companies need to know is whether the bid includes a share swap, backing from various financial institutions, Jeff Bezos, sofa cushion change, etc. The New York Times report casts doubt about the deal because various parties who have been involved in the talks do not appear to be taking Amazon's bid seriously. But I think it makes perfect sense, regardless of whether or not it goes through. Amazon is behind the eight ball on AI development. The generative version of Alexa is yet to go public, and according to some reports, the Alexa digital assistant costs Amazon a jaw-dropping $10 billion a year to run. Just from a business standpoint, both things need to change, and that's where TikTok comes in. Grok, the AI originally developed by X, shows the way. Grok became so useful so quickly because it has access to X's 24/7, 365 flow of data from its 300 million users about everything from everywhere, and it gets all the data for free. Grok is so valuable that it is spun out as a separate business. XAI just bought X. Wild, huh? It is easy to see why Amazon and TikTok would be, if not a match made in heaven, at least a match made in data hoovering hell. Hey, how's it going? Howdy, howdy, howdy. Time, distance, math is hard. Time only exists and it's a social construct. Don't ever believe it. It's always the same time everywhere, at every moment in time. You're just seeing only a snapshot of it. These and other tales from the dark side of my brain, as I realize that we're all one unit. We are just a microcosm of a microorganism that exists in the side of a head of a pan, that it contains its entire universe. And that's all you know of this universe. There's nothing more beyond that, except a bigger universe. Cash App. Cash App. Oh, did you do Cash App me? God bless. Was that you, Mel? Thank you so much. If you did Cash App me, I thank you. $2 super chat. Let me get you one of them wonderful stickers to give a nice rub down on top of it. That is so nice. Thank you, Mo Clump. I appreciate you. That is awesome. I love it when get smacked around with money, honey. Good morning, Tammy Bugard. I'll have to look and see because no, I don't look at that all. You did? Holy! Oh, thank you so much. Mel, thank you for the $50 super chat. That is so kind of you. That is wow. Just thank you so much, Mel. I don't know what to say except thank you. That right there is glorious. Thank you so much. And you be safe. I'll see if sometimes people throw a message in there, so give me just a second. I'm gonna make sure that if there is a message in there. Mel, thank you. She says, thank you. I truly appreciate you. Thank you, Mel. I appreciate you. Rock and roll. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's so kind of you. Oh, oh. See, now you got my little heart beating. I'm gonna give you a nice little reply there. So give me just a second. I'm gonna give you a little heart emoji. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mel. That is so nice. Oh man. Has anyone looked at an amoeba under a microscope? I've always believed our universe is a single cell in some sort of life form. Yeah, that's well, it's just imagine it would be some sort of single cell in some other life form, and imagine everything that you know is an entire universe inside that amoeba of a cell. And then everything that is outside of that would be the size of the universe, your known universe, but that's also inside the cell of an amoeba into infinity. That's why I think whenever the Lord said, "You can't quite understand how powerful I am," he goes, "'Cause with the snap of the finger, I can make everything go away." He goes, "I just keep adding dye to the mixture just to see what happens." I need more coffee for that question. Well, get more coffee. Get more coffee, 'cause coffee is good. And I love this next one. I'll just be over here relaxing while media Dems read too much into Wisconsin's Supreme Court race. Almost 5 months after their defeat last November, the Democrats are still standing atop Mount Everest sized pile of rubble that they have to pick through in order to rebuild. Given their current situation, it's only natural that they celebrate any signs of life. However, a single sign of life doesn't mean that nothing but good news awaits at the rest of the rubble, and the original source of the disaster has been vanquished forever, unless, of course, the people considering all of this are in complete denial. As we are all aware, the Democrat Party elite and their media lapdogs are the reigning champions of denial here in 2025. In the middle of the aftermath of a commie winning a seat on a Wisconsin Supreme Court, the Democrats, flying monkeys in the mainstream media, are positively giddy about what this means for the chances of the party's emergence from what they view as the dark times. Their irrational exuberance is somewhat understandable given that this is the first bit of good news that they've had in quite a while. It's still irrational, though. The headline from the opinion section of the Washington Post typifies that reaction. Musk's defeat in Wisconsin is a flashing warning for Republicans in 2026. Whoa, a flashing warning? This article was written by Washington Post veteran Karen Tumulty, who's not only out over her skis on this one, but out over her skis of the five people in front of her. A more sensible take would have been it's a much welcome good night for the Democrats in Wisconsin that would have at least given Tumulty some cover for ignoring the two special elections that Republicans won easily in Florida on Tuesday. If you're going to read the tea leaves, then read all the leaves that are left at the bottom of the cup. There's nothing earth-shattering about the Democrats' ability to still win elections in Wisconsin. The Badger State is a volatile purple phase, so every election is a real crapshoot. Last November, President Trump garnered the highest vote percentage in Wisconsin of any Republican since the electoral butt-whooping that Ronald Reagan gave the Dems in 1984, but his margin of victory was still on the hair's breadth variety. Almost 49% of Wisconsin electorate voted for camel toe, so there aren't going to be any gimmies for the Republicans there in the near future. Here's one part of Tumulty's fever dream that I'd like to address. The question is not only whether there will be backlash against Trumpism, but also how well the party that controls Washington can galvanize the MAGA base while Trump himself is not on the ballot. Well, obviously, it's important for the future of the state. I don't know what a Supreme Court election is a real bellwether for any kind of election in the immediate or distant future. Honey, yes, Elon Musk did raise the profile of the race, but that doesn't mean that the hardworking rural Wisconsin residents whom the GOP relies upon had an emotional bandwidth for this one. Most of the headlines I've read in the mainstream media today have mentioned Musk. Of course, he is now firmly entrenched as public enemy number one on the day Lim's list. While it's true that conservatives love what Musk is doing in the Department of Government Efficacy, it doesn't mean that we take everything he says about Republican politics as gospel. We remember that he is new to this side of the aisle, so we also don't idolize people in politics the way the Democrats do, which they fail to grasp. Yes, Musk invented money, time, and effort into this race, but even with the greatest home run hitters, they do strike out a lot. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything there. This was a horrible result for Republicans in Wisconsin. However, the Supreme Court race here has no bearing on the nation's economy, the national security, which will be the two biggest things upon which President Trump eventual success or failure will be judged. And given what a hot mess the Democrat Party is right now, its propaganda pimps might want to hold off on ordering any champagne for 2026. Purple my ass, shizzy, Rock, Dane, Racine, Milwaukee counties, leading states and votes. Nothing purple about that. And I'm stuck living in damn Rock County. You have bronchitis and the meds make it difficult to sleep. What kind of meds are you on? I mean, if you're taking, their methamphetamines, of course you're going to have a hard time sleeping, but you lose a lot of weight. Just she's on the steroids. She's gonna come back. She's gonna be all pumped up. The arms are gonna be like, she's gonna be looking like Arnold with a jaw to match. Oh, bye, Mary. You get some rest. You haven't slept? I've been scrolling. Oh, I've been scrolling too. Mm, mm, mm. And you have no idea how much I've been scrolling. At least I'm not swiping left. Useless government program to be eliminated, just as it was to be in 2017. In early March, Elon Musk received a friendly warning from an unlikely quarter, David Stockman, Ronald Reagan's first director of Office of Management and Budget, and the prototypical government efficiency czar who had engaged in a widely publicized effort to cut government waste back in the early 1980s. Stockman wrote on X, "Hey, Elon, been there, done that. The swamp is far more devious and resilient than you think. Everything you are cutting will be reborn again in another guise. I know, but keep at it anyways. America is sinking into a black hole of public debt, and the hour is late. Indeed, in recent news about wasteful government program that fell victim to Musk Doge is an indication that Stockman was right. The swamp is resilient, resourceful, and resolute." The good news came in Monday report from ArtNet News. The Art World's Media Oregon reported sadly that Doge has decimated the Institute of Museum and Library Services. All employees have been placed on administrative leave, and the future of millions in grants seem dim. Celebrate good times. The left, of course, will deplore this as a triumph of the yahoos and rednecks over who can appreciate the finer things in life. But all that really happened was that the Trump administration cut the funding of the Institute of Museum and Library Services. Why exactly should the government have an Institute of Museum and Library Services in the first place? Well, it shouldn't. And this program is a quintessential example of federal overreach and waste. The world of art is perfectly capable of taking care of itself without federal oversight and funding. After all, it did just that for many centuries, even before there was a United States. The program is an obvious failure. Latter-day America hasn't exactly distinguished itself as a center of artistic achievement, courtesy of the largest of American taxpayers. And that money has been doled out in massive amounts, as Art News Net revealed, as it hailed the defiance of the Institute of Museum and Library Services employees when Doge people arrived. All 55 or so employees of the agency which was awarded some $266.7 million to recipients all over the country in 2024, showed up to work that day. Was that something that was unusual for them, staging an act of defiance against the people who were known to padlock other agencies on arrival? Trump had signed an executive order continuing the reduction of the federal bureaucracy, directing severe cuts to IMLS, which provides resources to museums and libraries in all 50 states and territories, calling for it to be eliminated to the maximum extent consistent with the applicable law within 7 days. So an abrupt closure would have been no surprise. Wait, it gets better. ArtNet News, an unnamed employee. Today, the entire IMLS staff is being placed on administrative leave. They also plan on canceling all 900 open awards to museums across the country as of the end of March. There were 891 open awards to museums with 180 million in federal funds appropriated in prior fiscal years to support multi-year projects matched with the 185 million of non-federal cost share. Great, that's a nice chunk of change to save the taxpayers, and now museums and libraries will no longer be able to contact IMLS staff for updates about the funding they rely upon. The 2025 grant application program had already been paused. The status of previously awarded grants is unclear without staff to administrate the programs. It's likely that most grants will be terminated. Fantastic. American Alliance Museum lamented placing the entire staff on administrative leave raises questions as to whether the agency will be able to fulfill its legal obligations to disperse congressionally appropriated funding, leaving museums, libraries, and the communities across the country of being at risk of losing vital resources. It's unlikely that those resources were really vital at all or ever were. This is a triumph of the federal responsibility. Who oppose these federal agencies don't oppose museums or library. They simply don't believe the federal government has any mandate to be involved in such entities or any need to be involved in them. There is, however, a rather large fly in the ointment. PJ Media reported back in March of 2017 that the Institute of Museum and Library Services was listed among programs that would be eliminated or zeroed out. Yet 8 years later, here it is, still doling out hundreds of millions of dollars, no doubt much of it to the kind of artists who duct tape banana to a wall and they call it fine art. Why does the Institute of Museum and Library Services even still exist? The swamp struck back successfully and completely under the radar. The swamp creatures protect their own. Will this useless program finally see its end now? We can only hope. Musk, however, would do well to heed Stockman's warning and give some attention to make sure the programs that he slays stay dead. Oh, yes, your daughter has one of those too. I was impressed with that. That sounds hot. Yamaha biker. Oh my. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. We had so much fun last night. Today is going to be fire. Everybody is sort of waiting with a little bit of bated breath, just like, what's going to happen? When's it going to happen? Will Bubbles show up in court? Will he defy the judge's order and say, "No, judge, you can have my money, but you can't have my freedom." Thumbs are for sitting on. Oh, really? What if I have two thumbs? I guess that makes it an interesting seat, doesn't it, Rosalind? Or a happy seat, one of the two. I don't think Bubbles is going to show. I think he's going to blow it off completely. That would be much to my surprise if he blows it off entirely and basically gives a big F you to the judge. I don't see that ending very well for him in any way, shape, or form. But it's all about content for him and dragging this thing out much, much longer than it ever needed to be. You know, that's how it goes with some folks. They just don't know when to quit. They just don't know when to quit. Oh my God. This is awesome. Let's see if I have this here. Oh, we got something here. Oh, Rosalind, Rosalind. That's too bad. See, Rosalind hit it. I just got to show you guys right here. I'll give you a minute. I'll give you a minute to take that one in. Oh, hail to the grifters! Hail, Fallstorm! Good to see you, brother. I looked outside. Your yard looks like 1,000 islands. So much water. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, dang. I can't remember who I've greeted this morning. I can't remember who I've greeted this morning either. Rosalind, thank you so much. That's pretty awesome. In case I need to embiggen it. That's awesome. Thank you so much. It was it was posted on Facebook. That's awesome. Oh, the powers given to the federal government by the founding fathers has been so ignored by the power hungry in DC that we literally have no idea how truly corrupt the government is. Yes, whenever they have their fingers in everything, it becomes amazing how much you realize they've got their fingers in literally everything except for where Rosalind likes to put her thumbs, apparently. Hey everyone, got a few minutes to pop and quick catch up. Good to see you, Matt Englishman. It has been a little while since we've seen you. Sorry if I missed the flight from Boston to Florida. He could always fly from Boston to another town, rent a car, and go the rest of the way, but I doubt it. Well, and I will say that it is probably like what, a 2-hour flight at the most to get here from Boston. So yeah, it's pretty easy. You walk into JetBlue and go, I need a flight to Pensacola, and you get your happy ass there. Like I said, it's not hard to do unless you just want to blatantly. I mean, and whenever I say this, he could be in an airplane, like right now, flying his happy ass there and then driving is getting a place to stay. See, 400,000 deserves him. It only costs $40. I was saying they need 400 to serve him. It only costs $40. Yeah. Harry, the sovereign citizen, is back. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Happy birthday to Mr. Elka. Oh, awesome. Happy birthday, Elka. I love that. Hubby's birthday today. Well, hopefully you don't, send a tow truck to go pick up his truck at work. That would be, oh my God. Useless. Oh, is this the right one? No, wrong one. That's the wrong one also. I just read that one. Oh my gosh. Let me get this right here. Now, this is part of PJ Media's VIP portion of it. So if you decide to get on PJ Media and create an account, believe it or not, it's so inexpensive for an entire year of a lot of this kind of things. Take a quick peek at email. I don't know if I'm able to because I'm always doing all kinds of crazy things looking at email. Good to see you, Rickles64. Let me see what we've got here. Uh, da, 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 da. Give me a second. I'm doing multitasking because I'm over here all by my lonesomes and feeling all kinds of special. Like, you see how it goes. Okay. I see. I will check that out later. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, AK also sent some more fanfic. It's awesome. It's hilarious. You guys kill me. Absolutely just destroy me. It's awesome. Ah, let's see. Guy, many thoughts ran Biden's White House. Let me get to that star. You definitely earned it. Take a quick peek at the emails. Yes, I did take a quick peek at the emails. I'm really good at peeking at the emails. I usually look at them after stream. I do them right before I fire up my computer for work. Thank you so much for the $2. Thank you, Rickles. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And let's see, I think I got everything. Yeah, I got everything there. Stephen, no sob sit here, brother. No sob sit here. I am never alone. Thank you. Thank you very much, New Zealand. Keep it New Zealand. I love it. I am never alone. I have all of you guys here. That and I have my thoughts, and my thoughts are awesome. Guy many thought ran Biden's White House becomes latest aide to admit Joe was out of it. Well, there's suddenly a growing cottage industry of former Biden aides and far left journalists who had close access to old Joe publishing tell-all books discussing the former alleged president's dementia. There are so many of these, in fact, that it's no longer possible to sustain the idea that anyone at all who was inside or around the Biden White House didn't know that the aged old liar was no longer with us, except as the empty shell of the formerly cheerful, glib corruptocrat who so many Beltway insiders had come to loathe. What all these sudden honest brokers don't seem to realize is how much their new confessions constitute an indictment of their own behavior while old Joe was still pretending to be president. In those days, the same people who are now pumping out all these exposés through the far left's propaganda arm known as the mainstream publishing industry were going before the cameras and telling their comrades in the far left's propaganda arm known as the mainstream media that Biden was as fit as a fiddle, sharp as a tack, and running circles around aides who were less than half his age. The latest to join the ridiculous charade is none other than Ron Klain, old Joe's chief of staff for the first 2 years of his presidency, or whatever that was. Klain was widely touted during those years as being the guy who really was making the decisions as president, and he may have been, but he never gave the slightest shadow of a hint in those years or the final two of Biden's faux presidency, during which he remained one of the old kleptocrats' top advisors, that old Joe wasn't really the man in charge. Now, however, it's a different story. The Guardian reported Wednesday that in a new book, Joe Biden's former White House chief of staff paints a devastating picture of the then U.S. president's mental and physical state before the debate with Donald Trump that sent his 2024 campaign into a tailspin, resulting in his relinquishing the Democratic nomination to Camel Toe. During that entire drama that played out among Democrats last summer, they threw Biden under the bus and replaced him with Harris. Do you recall Ron Klain saying a word about Biden's cognitive abilities? Well, neither do I. Now, however, Klain has, without a trace of self-awareness and certainly without an apology for covering up how bad old Joe really was, says that during the 2024 debate prep, his former boss didn't know what Trump had been saying and couldn't grasp what the back and forth was, and didn't really understand what his argument was on inflation. At his first meeting with Biden in Aspen Lodge, the president's cabin, says Chris Whipple, who wrote the book in which Klain's revelations appear, the former chief of staff, was startled. He'd never seen him so exhausted and out of it. Biden was unaware of what was happening in his own campaign. Halfway through the session, the president excused himself and went off to sit by the pool. At a later meeting, Biden says Klain was extremely exhausted, and I was struck by how out of touch with American politics he was. He was just very, very focused on his interactions with NATO leaders. According to Whipple, Klain wondered half seriously if Biden thought he was president of NATO instead of the U.S. He just became very enraptured with being the head of NATO, he said. During another debate prep session, Biden seemed befuddled, and 25 minutes into the second mock debate, the president was done for the day. I'm just too tired to continue, and I'm afraid of losing my voice here, and I feel bad, he said. I just need some sleep. I'll be fine tomorrow, and he went off to bed. In all the meetings, the president was fatigued, befuddled, and disengaged. Klain feared the debate with Trump meeting would be nationally televised disaster, and of course it was. Yet publicly, Klain was insisting that Biden was just the guy to be president, saying, if I thought he wasn't the right candidate to beat Donald Trump, I wouldn't be for him running. But I think he's the right candidate. And in response to the Guardian story, Klain even now insists, I never doubted the president's mental acuity. If Klain is being honest about that, there is good reason to doubt his mental acuity. Whether he is lying now or simply deluded, he was certainly shown himself to be unfit to hold a position of public trust in the United States, yet more books of this kind, are certain to come out when it's all over. How many former Biden aides will have unwittingly indicted themselves and their behavior during this disastrous Biden presidency? I have no idea, but I'm sure there will be plenty more, as you're about to find out. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Oof. Uh, uh, if there we go. Send out a nice little invite to one of my favorite people in the morning. That would be Deval Storm, because I like giving him a hard time. I really do, because he's so special. But you know what time it is? It's time to grab yourself a nice cup of coffee. Show yourself a little bit of pleasure in enjoying the finer things in life that we like to call that caffeine. And we'll take a short break. I know you guys have missed the dancing, so I'm going to show you a little bit of love and get up and shake it just a bit.
Step aside, y'all, it's my time to shine. I'm feeling the groove with these hips of mine. Hands in the air like spaghetti gone rogue. My knees are jelly and my hips just broke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. My shoulders pop like a rusty hinge. My fingers point like they're on a binge. Twirl like a tornado, then drop real low. It's not planned, it's a shit sideshow. I've got the rhythm of a clock that's broke. My dance floor moves are a big effing joke. Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Mesmerizing glow. You can't help but watch me steal the show. I summon the shake, the shimmy, the twist, a mix of genius and a big old fist. You're drawn in close, your feet start to twitch, feeling the groove like a broke-ass bitch. Yeah! Shaking it, breaking it, what a blast. Wobble it, wiggle it, shake that ass. Do a jig or a jog, wiggle it to the side, or break that hip bone by moving your ass. Step up or stand aside. Now we're all in the shake, no need to be shy. Move like spaghetti and reach for the sky. We'll dance like we're cursed, laugh till we're sore. Shizzy whiz nut reigns forevermore. So join the dance, let your weirdness unfurl. We're shaking ass, not a care in the world.
That's right. Hit that thumbs up and ring the bell, and then you get notified whenever something new comes out, because, oh, there'll be something new coming out today. I guarantee you tonight's going to be crazy, off the chains, wild. Ah, yes. Is that Big Bad Bruce is spraying his ass and that's a video? I don't know. It might just be. I don't know. I've never seen Brucey ever. I mean, I've seen what he purports to be him, but it could be somebody else. You never know. Doge versus the Swamp Sit Rep Volume 4 CDC Bloodbath commences. Oh boy. The latest hacking, stabbings, and loppings of waste, fraud, and abuse that plagues the sprawling federal bureaucracy, the CDC bloodbath begins. We were promised a cleansing of the hopelessly corrupt public health trademark apparatus. Now we're getting it, a welcome promise kept. I wish the cuts came faster and deeper, accompanied by criminal indictments, but at least we're headed in the right direction via the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, with emphasis are added. Termination notices began arriving through emails at dawn Tuesday morning for workers at the CDC, cutting a wide swath of entire branches of agency-facing elimination, according to active CDC employees who spoke on condition of anonymity for fear of retaliation. I regret to inform you that you're being affected by a reduction in force RIF action. The notice read, this RIF action does not reflect directly on your service, performance, or conduct. After you receive this notice, you will be placed on administrative leave and will no longer have access to the building unless directed otherwise by your leadership. Well, the firings began on Tuesday for employees across the entire U.S. Health and Human Services Department, of which the CDC is part. The effort is expected to eventually mean job losses for about 10,000 people, about 2,400 within the CDC. The plan would consolidate agencies that oversee billions of dollars for addiction services and community health centers under the new office called Administration for a Healthy America. Well, it's a tiny violin. Time over at MSNBC for fired HHS workers, including a woman who served as a senior communications specialist and public health advisor, basically the kind of midwits I went to college with who majored in communications or marketing or some bullshit degree like that. Watch them describe with straight faces their nonsense work as if America simply won't survive without their crucial communications work. Here you go. Listen.
Our friend and beloved colleague, Jacob Soboroff, joins us live alongside a group of fired CDC workers. Also joining me at the table, New York Times editorial board member, MSNBC political analyst Mara Gay's here, and distinguished political scholar, professor at Princeton University, MSNBC political analyst Eddie Glaud's here. But Jacob, you and your friends take it away.
Sure, Nicole, and I have to thank you because last time I was sitting with you right there at that very table, we talked about the roundtable that we did coming out of President Trump's joint address to Congress. We said we should do it again with fired federal workers. There are so many, we can't fit them all on one set who want to have their voices heard. You have kept your word, so I'm very grateful for that and for this real estate on your broadcast. I also want to say thank you to 11 Alive, our NBC News affiliate here in Atlanta, Georgia, where, of course,
this is going to be glorious. Rosalind, I've got to show that. I really do, because it is too awesome. And it's going to get added in. It's going to get added in because this is too awesome. I've got to mute the music and bring up my own music. Just so you guys know, Rosalind sent me something absolutely glorious, and it has to be shown. It really does. Oh yeah, I've got it muted. I did immediately mute that because that is going to be awesome. Let me get the music up here. Let me get the music up here. If I have it, I don't have it. Well, I'll have to add some music to it. Doggone it. Give me just a second. Add some music. This is going to be glorious. It's going to be glorious. You guys have no idea what you're in for. I'm going to love it. Let's see. Let's bring this thing up. It is going to be right in here. Let's see. Where I think there's one thing that I need to remind you guys that this is going to be awesome. Here we go. Open that one. Upload the music because we got to get the music for you. Oh, this is going to be great. You guys ready? You guys ready? Here it comes. Give me a second. Just be ready. Let me turn off this banner right here. There we go. Because this is Rosalind's doing, and I'm blaming her for this ahead of time. Here we go.
lips of mine. Hands in the air, like spaghetti gone rogue. My knees are jelly and my hips just broke. Breaking it.
Yeah, gotcha. Yep. Rosalind, dude, why? Why would you do this to my eyes? Thank you, Rosalind. That's awesome. Oh my God. Woo. Yeah, now you got him shirtless. Oh my God. He's back. Oh, that's getting added in there, Rosalind. You have no idea. That is totally getting put in there. Oh, yes. His whole tail. His whale tail. Someone call 911. Need bleach for my eyes. Oh, we'll get some bleach for you. Don't you worry. It's gonna get getting added in there today. I guarantee you. Okay, after that bit, I'm joining the Me Too movement. The mustache kills it. The mustache kills it. I'm just like, oh God. All right, let's see what we got here. We're continuing.
The CDC is headquartered. They have graciously opened their studios to us. Let me introduce you to who I am here with now. Three very brave women who have decided to sit with us today to talk about the experience that they're going through. From left to right, I want to start with Sarah Boehm, who was fired from her role at the CDC as a senior communications specialist for the National Center for Environmental Health and the Agency for Toxic Substances and Disease Registry.
I would just say, and I'm not trying to be offensive or anything because, look at me, but Jesus Christ, those are some bags. Lady, let me tell you, those are some bags under your eyes, man. I'm sorry. Those things go way down her cheekbones. I mean, good Lordy Almighty. I mean, you got some luggage there. It just, wow. And I'm not one to talk because I got bags under my eyes, but Lord Almighty. Sorry.
In the middle is Abby Tai, who was fired from her role as a public health advisor for the CDC, for the Drug-Free Communities branch of the agency. And on the
I just noticed something in their headline. It says MSNBC, and it doesn't say Dateline. It says Deadline, White House. What the heck? It's no longer bags. This has been upgraded to luggage. Bags match the fun bags. Jeez. Oh my God, Captain Karen, shame on you. She's been crying for a long time. Oh, they always told to do something with her. She carried her luggage in. Oh.
The right is Stephanie Tran, who was fired from her job as a presidential management fellow and a public health analyst at the Office of Readiness and Response. And Nicole started you guys this segment by talking about that a federal judge had issued an order. I actually have it right here, highlighted in yellow, says you guys are supposed to have gotten your jobs back by 1 o'clock today. Let me ask all of you, have any of you, I know you've been checking your email, have any of you been reinstated as of 5:06?
No, we haven't been reinstated. We've been held back cold-blooded. Yes, I'm sorry.
On the East Coast?
No.
Not a person. What are you hearing from your colleagues? Anybody else reinstated on a large scale at CDC?
At other agencies, but not at CDC.
Yeah. Not yet at CDC. Abby, let me start with you.
Yeah, what exactly do you do at the CDC? What, public relations? I mean, how does that work? We don't like what you're saying. Here, eat this. Well, at least they didn't put you in the basement over at the CDC. That's where they keep all the bad stuff. Wow, it's just after midnight on April the 4th. Do we have an update on Bubbles and Randy's meeting with the judge yet? No, we don't. You won't have that until, let's see, it's 8 o'clock in the morning right now. So it'd be 2 o'clock in the afternoon today that we would get that. So you do the math because my math is horrible at this time of the morning. Well, any time of the morning, any time at night, during the day, weekends, all that kind of stuff. I mean, my math is just horrible. Just count those hours. They're coming. What did you say you do here? No. What would you say you do?
The program you work for, Drug-Free Communities branch of the CDC, I think it's important here to talk about what you did and what the consequences are of losing you from the federal government. The program worked to reduce overdose and substance use among...
I just got a message from my wife because I've been gone. Is today Wednesday or Thursday? It's Thursday, isn't it? Okay, so I've got to do something really quick, really super quick. I have to go take the trash out. She just sent me a message like, recycling. Yes, we have to handle those every so often. So give me just a second. I'm gonna put you guys in a short break, but I will be right back. I'll give you the otters because it's long enough that I can do this. I'll be right back. See you in a second.
Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gigs and jokes that flew. We live in pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, to inside jokes and endless memes. We talk and Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We live in pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, and inside jokes and endless memes. In Shizzy, when it's chat we thrive, where Shizzy does dance and memes arrive. No quiet moments, no dull night. We laugh and funny sight. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We live in pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. From shoutouts to those random screams, from inside jokes and endless memes. We type our hearts, we stand the love. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Our chat rooms like a lit up club. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We live in pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream. Ooh, yeah, we come together night and day. We laugh, we play in our own way. A family in a cyberspace, loving hearts in this virtual place. Oh, Shizzy's crowd, you're wild and true, with crazy gifts and jokes that flew. We live in pixels in the stream, a digital dream, a shared daydream.
Oh, it's awesome, man. See, this is why I love my wife, because she does these wonderful things like send me messages in the middle of streams, like, shut up, you're being too loud. Here we go. Let's finish this.
Young people. It's a joint venture with the White House. We hear constantly President Trump talk about how the greatest overdose crisis in American history is a priority for him. Was this expertise that you were providing somehow no longer relevant?
I would argue
She wears contacts. She's got that look of somebody that wears contacts because she doesn't blink quite right. She always has this like shocked look on her face. It's sort of like, It's weird.
That no, it's very relevant. I served as a project officer in that role. I worked directly with local communities to provide support and guidance on substance use prevention for youth specifically. And my expertise actually is in rural health. And so I was working almost exclusively with frontier and rural communities out west.
I'm glad you brought that up because there were 700 different grantees all across the United States of America that you and your colleagues were interfacing with on a daily basis. What did they get from you and your expertise, your master of public health, that they couldn't get locally, that they needed the CDC for?
Well, one of the big problems, at least with some of the coalitions I worked with, is staffing shortages in general. It can be hard to find people with public health expertise in some of these rural communities. So I really served as someone who could come in and help them look through curriculum or through evidence-based materials related to substance use prevention and help them kind of figure out what would work best for their communities. I also was able to connect them with state and federal resources that they might not otherwise know how to connect to.
She's so annoying because every statement she makes is a question. She goes up at every end of her sentence. Yes, every end of her sentence is a question. I do all this work and I'm so smart. And I like, is this a question or a statement? Hips, reads, and math. They are jumpers.
Served as both almost like a subject matter expert in substance use prevention, but also as a connector.
For the first time in nearly a decade, and I've covered this issue for us on MSNBC and NBC News, overdoses in this country were on the decline. For the first time in nearly a decade, do you think that the work that
Really? You're serious? She's saying that overdoses are on a decline. Actually, I don't believe that's true. Like over the past 4 years, overdoses have increased because the amount of fentanyl flooding across our border. That was one of the reasons why Trump was elected, because they wanted to cut that down. Well, what does she do? I connect people with people. She helps people do things and stuff, and she can't tell Elon 5 specific things she did this week. Yeah. She's their drug connection. That's what it sounds like to me. This is how you can tell lefty failures in college diversity applicants. She can now independently be employed and hire out to different rural areas and make more money. Exactly. That's what I would do. If she was able to connect people with those kinds of resources, she should be able to do that with no problem now. She could source herself out and make tons of money. And I mean, that's sort of where I look at these kinds of cuts, and I think that Elon's probably looking at them the same way, is if it makes real world application, if it's such an important job, if it is such an important job, there's a niche market for that. And you should be able to offer that on the open market. If it's something that couldn't be offered on the open market, that wouldn't change anything or would have minimal impact, then what is the point of having the government and government taxpayer, the taxpayers to the government pay for your existence? It's pretty important whenever if you think about it, if this is such an important job, there's a niche market for it, you should have no problem finding this job in the real world. I mean, think about the guy that can weld. And I'm just using this for an example. If he's paid, $100 an hour by the U.S. government to weld, then why wouldn't he be and it's such an important job, say, for example, welding nuclear submarines, then why wouldn't it be such an important job in the real world where he could make $200-$300 welding on the same submarines, and it would be paid for by the people that are hiring him to do it? Can't remember them ever controlling any diseases. Well, Senator for true. We'll never stop the rug trade. Yes, No, it'll never happen. It was the whole war on drugs that never did really well. I mean, all that they're doing is just rotating people in and out.
That you all were doing contributed to that?
Absolutely. I mean, most of these communities focused on alcohol, tobacco, and then whatever substance was kind of at large within their community.
Has anybody ever OD'd on tobacco? I mean, I've gotten much more nicotine than I ever needed, and it just makes you all fidgety and stuff. But I don't see that being as helpful. I'm an entertainer to all kinds of shit.
Communities, which could be methamphetamines, could be fentanyl, could be opioids. Fentanyl. They're all, DFC is really, drug-free communities is really focused on community-based approaches. And we were meant to kind of help steward them through the evidence base and determine what works for their people.
I didn't say it off the top, but
does this fentanyl work for you, or are you more of a cocaine addict? Let's see. Well, let's hook you up with the right peoples. Come on.
I do want to say I'm so sorry for what you all are going through. I can't imagine, and I think our viewers can't imagine.
Given a hard time.
Especially in a field of public health at such a critical time. You guys being terminated and being told, Stephanie, that it was for performance. Am I right?
Correct.
How was your performance review?
I scored a 4.0.
Out of 5?
Out of 5, yes.
So pretty dang good.
Yes.
You were doing
and what exactly do you do now, sweetheart?
Policy management of the $750 million, which was being distributed over 5 years through your program, the Office of Readiness and Response. So you were dealing with, and your colleagues were dealing with, stuff like infectious diseases, natural disasters, biological, chemical, nuclear, radiological events.
Natural disasters, you mean like North Carolina, Florida? Got hit by hurricanes that you guys still don't have power to some places. Could be fentanyl or opiates. Synthetic, but still an opiate. Yeah, she's a genius. Well, she's got a master's degree. Diversity grades don't mean you know what you're doing. Don't know. Ohio train. I never got sympathy for any layoff or firing. Yeah, I don't think I ever got sympathy either. Come on. It happens. I mean, I remember when this place that I worked at, they gave me a cut, and they were just like, "Yep, you're the last in, you're the first to go." These guys have seniority over you. You know what I did the next day? I got a job. Amazing how that works.
Who do all these local agencies call now, if you were the liaison, to get more information about how the money the federal government has given them is supposed to be spent?
Right. So the Public Health Emergency Response Program is a collective of, I want to say, almost 100 plus employees. Few of the probationary employees being cut means there's less resources for them to be able to help. I mean, of course, they're going to be sending emails or calling, but the resources won't be there. And a lot of the folks who got cut at ORR are my age, and we're very young, new to federal government. And, the goal was to kind of...
So you're young. That means you should be able to bounce back. Remember, babies are like rubber bands. You drop them and they bounce. I'm kidding. Don't drop babies. That's not advice. I'm not a doctor. Don't take my word as advice. Exactly. I graduated college with a 3.93. That and $4 will get me a coffee. Yes. I guess I don't understand what I guess she doesn't understand what she said. No, she doesn't understand what she said.
Get us together and learn how to take the reins from the older folks.
You were president.
Oh, I see what it is. They want the people that are, they want these people with actual skill and experience to be aged out. We need to be able to take over the reins. We need you to train us how to do your job so we can send your ass off to the old folks home. I do like Alaska. I just put them on a lawn chair on an iceberg and send them off into the sweet goodbye. How many people do we need doing these jobs? Well, apparently 3 less. Keyword, probationary. Exactly.
presidential management fellow. I talked to another guy, Jesus Murillo, after President Trump's speech. He was working for housing and urban development. You guys literally are the best of the best. It's been a program that's been in existence since Jimmy Carter was the president of the United States. You must have had, like so many PMFs.
She wasn't even born when Jimmy Carter was president of the United States. What is he talking about? She just got fired for being too productive and hurting office morale. No joke. I can see that. I can see that. I've seen that happen before. Oh.
Big dreams about what you wanted to do in the federal government.
Yep. I'm still in shock that, based on everything I've done, 2 degrees in 7 years, I became a PMF, beat out 11,000 applicants. And in my year, 2023, there's about 200 of us kind of in limbo right now.
200 people that the CDC hired that are in limbo, that has spent 7 years to get a degree to what? Run PR? So they want to learn from the boomers after poking fun of boomers most of their tiny existence. Yeah, that'll go over like a turd in a punch bowl. She's in shock. Well, then she should be able to get another job. Yes, that's what I mean. They're like babies. They bounce right back. 2 degrees to do that? Exactly. I mean, 7 years, 2 degrees. Well, she got her, what is it, bachelor's, then associates. And, she would go for her master's degree, but the only problem is you have to have, common sense to, get your master's degree. Ask her, what is a woman? Watch you it's a short circuit for the left.
One of the issues you were working on, because I really want to drive home how this expertise was being implemented. I'm from California. I covered the wildfires for us here at MSNBC and NBC News.
Really? That's it? Jacob, you covered the wildfires in California? What, so sitting in a desk? Oh, wait, no, you were standing out there. What was it? Was this the same guy that had the fireman's jacket that he had to have safety pinned back to make him look more svelte instead of just hanging it there? California? Nah. I'm sorry. This is insufferable. I just can't. The new NIH chief please institute public health and calling humanely. This kind of language is just impossible. Titillating, conjuring up images of euthanizing a generic animal, a geriatric animal that no longer has any function as humanitarian gesture, holding up their hand and stroking their hair as the needle goes in and the lights go out. I'm sorry, I just couldn't handle it. SNAP shouldn't subsidize. Yeah, listen to Allentown by Billy Joel. Exactly. He was interviewing the wildfires. Yeah. SNAP shouldn't subsidize Slurpees. Even Chicken Little would be exhausted trying to keep up with what Democrats claim President Donald Trump wants to do. Look at the news on Tuesday. Representative Yvette Clark, or maybe it's Vet Clark, Democrat New York, said Republicans' cuts to SNAP are the difference between life and death for many in the communities that we serve. SNAP is the rebranded food stamps program. Yeah, they give you something that looks like a credit card so you won't be so embarrassed whenever you say that you show up with food stamps. And trust me, that is one of the most embarrassing things that you can suffer. I will tell you, as a young teenager, my mother was on welfare, and I will say that it is absolutely insane, eating off the block of government cheese that you can get. Sorry, just look at the news on Tuesday. Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries has accused Republicans of setting in motion the largest cut to Medicaid in American history. Representative Nancy Pelosi, the Democrat from California, said, "I really didn't get my vodka today." Said Trump's work to dismantle the Department of Education is a direct attack on America's students, teachers, and families. Yeah. How many millions did you make off of these kinds of programs because you knew when to invest and when not to invest because you made the rules for it? Hey, Nancy, here's a novel idea. Why don't you give up your millions of dollars to some of these people that need food to fill their cup as you eat out of, eat $200 buckets of ice cream. All Slurpee cups are EBT eligible. It read, EBT stands for Electronic Benefits Transfer. It's how people spend their SNAP benefits at stores. There was a similar sign on the soda machine. The U.S. Department of Agriculture website confirms that the signs are accurate. Taxpayers are subsidizing Slurpees and sodas. This is wasteful. Food stamps are supposed to help low-income individuals ward off hunger, not satiate their sweet tooth. But imagine the left's reaction when you propose making junk food ineligible for food stamps. They'd claim you want to cut benefits from the poor. You wanted to cut the program that you wanted to stigmatize poor people. This isn't speculation. House Republicans are currently pushing a bill to do just that, and those are some of the attacks they're facing. Those attacks may have a grain of truth, but they're deeply misleading. If Republicans pass a ban on SNAP paying for junk food, hunger won't increase one bit. The biggest impact may be a reduction in diabetes, which low-income Americans are more likely to develop, and that could save Medicaid program money. But then Democrats would likely claim Republicans are cutting the program. Once you see this pattern, Democrats' alarmism is hard to take seriously. The Department of Education has been around for decades, and aside from some bright spots with charter schools, public education is generally terrible. Just because the name says education doesn't mean the department is doing much to improve how kids learn. Now, if I haven't convinced you, I challenge you to do this. Open the calendar app on your phone, create an appointment for July 15th, 2026. In the search notes section, write down 3 things you will think will happen as a result of Republican actions. Some examples: Republicans will cut SNAP benefits and 100,000 people will die of starvation. Trump will cut Medicaid and people will have worse health outcomes, including 50,000 more heart attack deaths. Gutting the Department of Education will reduce student achievement by 5 percentage points. A note: look beyond the funding level of certain programs and consider outcomes. Government programs are supposed to be a means to an end, not just a money pit. If you think Trump has dictatorial aspirations, set a reminder for November 26 or 2028. Write it down if you think Trump will cancel elections or run for a 3rd term. Make sure also to write down if someone has made this claim. When the date comes, look around and see what happens. Perhaps Trump has led America into unprecedented levels of starvation, illness, and ignorance, or perhaps Democrats have staked their electoral success on scaring people like you. Either way, you won't have to take my word for it. I love it. I love it. Because it was all fake. Far-left billionaires astroturfed the tidal wave of early enthusiasm for Harris. Last summer, after old Joe Biden was forced out of running for re-election and Camel Toe was anointed as the Democrat candidate for president, the far left's propaganda arm, that is, the establishment media, made a massive push to make this failed vice president, longtime party hack, seem new and appealing. A key part of this effort was a gaggle of young influencers who took to Instagram and TikTok with an enthusiastic pro-Harris message. It was sincere, it was spontaneous, it was exciting, or at least that's what it seemed to be. Now, I know, knock me over with a feather. It turns out the whole thing was faked. The entire Harris bubble was the artificial creation of a bunch of leftist billionaires. Real clear investigations blew the whistle on this astounding astroturfing enterprise in a lengthy expose on Monday, detailing concerted efforts to portray Harris as if she had Gen Z-friendly hipster appeal. This involved influencers making neon matcha green pro-Harris videos synced to beats from singer Charlie XCX's album Brat released last year, as well as flooding the interwebs with memes celebrating Harris as the voice of queer and Black youth, in contrast to the Republican agenda of white supremacy. Yeah, not only did they create a fictional Harris, but they conjured up a fake opposition to her in the bargain. The campaign went heavy on sexual excess, with heavy helping of hysteria digital creator Amelia Montooth in one viral TikTok video kissed a woman and tried searching for pornography. Actions her sketch suggested would be banned if Harris lost the election. Apparently, presenting Harris as the porn candidate wasn't enough, and so another TikTok Instagram series backed by the donors called Gaydar featured interviews quizzing people on the streets of New York City about gay culture trivia with little election-related content. But the pro-Harris subtext was unmistakable. Then there was the caravan featuring the inflatable IUD that traveled to Philadelphia, Washington, Raleigh, St. Louis, and elsewhere. The tour, which featured content creators producing posts along the way, was designed to bring attention to claims that Trump would ban contraceptive devices. Yeah, of course he would. Harris never quite gelled as the front woman for the 21st century immorality. Real Clear Investigation notes that she was a career politician favored by the Democrat Party establishment and so never quite fit the bill as an icon of activist movements. But this wasn't for want of trying. The sudden influencer buzz seemed to transform the stodgy former prosecutor into an icon of cultural zeitgeist. There was plenty of money available for this chaotic effort, but Harris's fake enthusiasm and sexual libertinism, fear-mongering, was quietly funded by an elusive group of Democrat billionaires and major donors in an arrangement designed to conceal the payments from voters. Real Clear investigators discovered that way to win. One of the major donor groups behind the effort spent more than $9.1 million on social media influencers during the 2024 presidential election. The money went to coaching influencers on phrases, issue areas, and key themes to disseminate pro-camel toe content throughout the cycle. No fewer than 550 influencers were on the payroll, getting talking points that were rapidly distributed on key issues that would help sell camel toe to the American people. The social media wonks tried hard for their money, producing an impressive 6,644 posts on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, and X. Liz Jaff of Way to Win was confident that it would work, telling donors, "We know what messaging works." She touted the use of an AI-based focus group tool developed by Future Forward, the Harris campaign's primary super PAC, explaining that once the talking points were developed, we then conveyed that to the influencers who take that into their own words. So the whole thing would seem organic. It wasn't, of course. We then tested those videos and see what needs to be boosted. The dinosaur media, meanwhile, was pitching in with propaganda such as Time Magazine's August 26, 2024 cover featuring an artistic rendering of Harris looking strong, heroic, and resolute with the caption, "Her moment." New York Times Magazine offered "Welcome to Camelot," a serio comic cover depicting Harris sitting atop a giant coconut as the likes of Barack Obama, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, AOC, George Clooney, and other leftist luminaries hailed her from below. The bottom line is that for all the marketing firepower, acumen, the billions of dollars behind the selling of Harris, it didn't work. The artificial enthusiasm dissipated as quickly as it began, as artificial enthusiasms will do. The 2024 election thus stands as a triumph of the independence of the human spirit over who spend their lives and fortunes on fooling and manipulating people. May there be many, many more victories. That's what we want. Not sure. Nah, you are what you eat. I found it's actually what goes in my mouth that affects weight. I eat plant-based, lost 100 in 9 months. Yeah, I lost a lot of money eating plant-based foods also. It was well over 100. So that's why I stopped eating plant-based foods and started going to meat-based foods, where plants, taste even better. Apparently it's illegal to tase journalists who write tell-all books about Biden's dementia. My journey calling out the hacks in the mainstream media for the persistent water carrying for the Democrat Party began long ago. We were calling this writing format weblogging back in those days and connecting to the interwebs via dial-up modems. Ancient times, I know. The bias has always been seedy and awful, but it plumbed new depths once the addled husk of Joe Biden was forced by his wife, decided to run for president a third time. We thought we had seen the lowest of the low from the propagandists during President Trump's first term. Sadly, America's brave political journalist class is always in hold my beer mode when it comes to being loathsome. As I've, frequently stated that mainstream media's reimagining of the better divisive Biden as America's grandpa in 2020 was a monumental exercise in creative fiction. They threw extra helpings of fabrication into their trademark provocation to sell Biden, whoever existed, to the electorate. Once they dove into that deep cesspool of deviousness, they were unable or unwilling to climb back out. They continued reporting on competent SARPers attacked Joe Biden, who simply was not present on planet Earth. It was galling to watch. We're now just a little more than 2 months removed from the Biden presidency, and we're being subjected to revisionist history accounts of what actually happened inside the mainstream media vis-a-vis Joe Biden's obvious and rapid mental decline. It should come as no surprise that new lows are still being found by these execrable people. The covering common theme goes something like this. Hey, we don't know. We didn't know the administration was hiding it from us. The latest variation on this theme is offered in book form of a subject of a recent article in The Hill. The notion that Democrat Party officials keep anything from coastal media bubble reporters is beyond preposterous. The relationship between Beltway Dem politicals and their mainstream media mouthpieces is insidiously symbiotic. There's no real separation between them. There's also the fact that Biden's exit from cognitive reality was apparent to anyone who was A, over the age of 3, and B, had an internet connection. With the exception of the big speeches when his doctors cornered the amphetamine market to pump him up, Biden sounded like a drunk who had just woken up from a nap and was in his first month of learning English as a second language. He shook hands with people who weren't there. He needed assistance to exit even the smallest of stages. All as we know, this list could go on and on for a while, so I'll just stop there. A key part of, hey, they're hiding it from us tact involves feigning shock at Biden's performance in the one debate they allowed him to be part of. In February, my good friend Stephen Green covered Jake Tapper's entry into Gosh Who Knew genre. As Mr. Green wrote, the only people who were shocked were the people who relied on Tapper and outlets like CNN to report honestly on Biden's condition. PJ Media readers knew, Town Hall readers knew. It's very telling that these books are hitting the virtual and physical shelves so quickly. One might think that these intrepid journos would need some time to process what certainly must have been the shock of the century to them. Gosh, it's almost if they got started on them long time ago in a land far away. There aren't enough bad things that can be said about these horrible people, and I'm writing that as someone who has mad skills when it comes to being verbally vicious. 43 years of dealing with hecklers from the stage, and I've sharpened that sword to a fine edge. At this point, however, I would exhaust myself if I began to completely vent about the cretins in the mainstream media. I'm sure they're going to keep pushing me until I have a sporting try, though. It's so awesome. Oh my God. Oh God. I mean, and it goes on and on. There's tons of this kind of stuff. But alas, it has come to that point in time where you just have to remember this one simple thing, and it's very important.
Democracy is a form of government based upon the principle of majority rule, period. End of discussion. Now, that's not very complicated. Majority rule. It's easy to understand, easy to sell to the masses, and I might add, deadly. For example, what would you call a lynch mob? That's majority rule. There's only one dissenting vote, and he's at the end of the rope. Now, that's pure democracy in action. But wait a minute, you say. The majority should rule, yes, but not to the extent of destroying the rights of the minority. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are no longer describing a democracy. We are speaking of a republic. A republic is a limited democracy. It's a form of government based upon the principle of limited majority rule. Limited so that the minority, even a minority of one, can be protected against the whims and passions of the majority. And how do you protect the minority from the majority? You write down a set of rules on a piece of paper. You say, this we can do, that we cannot. At the top of the paper, you write the word Constitution. And then everyone agrees to follow the rules no matter what the temptation. And when you're finished, you've created a constitutional republic.
Oh, I've got something I want to show you guys. This is gonna freak you out. I just want you guys to enjoy this for a second. Yes, this one thing. Now, pull my finger. And Tom Gillis, good to see you. Tom Gillis, golf instruction. Yes, he's awesome. It cracks me up how people can't understand this process. Well, here's the process that I wonder if you've ever seen before. And Volstorm, I'm sorry, Yamaha. I suggest that you're gonna see something that's amazing. It's gonna make you rethink your life decisions. This lady right here, cute, right? Pretty cute, right? Just hold your horses before you get all excited because it's about to freak you out. Can you chew?
I definitely didn't get a good chew out of that. That felt weird. Now I gotta make sure I don't have food chilling around them.
Oh.
Much easier, much better. I haven't had Burger King's breakfast in a very long time. And that's how I chew. With my teeth in. And with my teeth out. That was the first time I tried to eat anything without my teeth in. That was really awkward. Like, they don't close enough for me to be able to really chew that. Did I need to put a disclaimer on this video? People keep asking for that because I freak them out. My mouth freaks them out. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah, my mouth scares people. Like a dream I didn't know I had. To one day, need a trigger warning for existing. Making it big, guys. I'm making it big. Soon more people will recognize me when I'm out in public.
Might be okay, but gives dragons a bad thought. Keep the toofs in. Think so. Oh, watch the post, honey. Dude, here it is. No scrape. I don't care what she gets you with no teeth, but stop smacking. Fun fact, New Zealand and US, the only two countries in the world that allow television advertising of prescription drugs. The other day, and I'll say this before I left to head out of town, my wife and I sit down in a restaurant, and there was a TV playing something. This was off on the side. It was like a restaurant bar place. I mean, it is good food. They had decent beer. And we're sitting there, and I look over at the TV, and I think there might have been a golf thing going on. She's making it big. There might have been a golf game going on or something. I don't know, because in the time span that my wife were there, which was probably about 20 minutes or so, in the time span that we were there sitting down, they had no less than 30 commercials. No less than 30 commercials. I think there might have been somebody that hit a golf ball or something, but every single commercial was a drug company commercial, like every single one of them. And almost every single commercial was advertising a drug to counter the effects of the last drug that they were advertising. And at one point in time, all I could think of is the tiny man in my AR. That's all I could think of. That's all I could think of. And I got to show you the tiny man in my AR. You want to see the tiny man in my AR? Here's the tiny man in my AR. I'm telling you, this is hilarious. Check it out. Golf fans need drugs? No, they don't. Golf fans don't need drugs. I did see something really cool. I'm going to see if I can find it again, because this is absolutely hilarious. Let's see. Where did I see it at? I think it's here. I'm gonna find it. Copy. Let me see. Let me see if I can find this. And it's hilarious. Okay, where is it? Let's see. It is. Where is it? I've got to find that. It was in my feed yesterday, and I must have been watching something that was golf related because I'd never seen this before, but it is hilarious. No, I can't show it. It'll get me in trouble. It's got music on there. Never mind. Without the music, it would have been awesome, but it'll get me in trouble. It is too bad. Everyone have a wonderful day. Yes, Tom Gillis, golf instruction. Yes. Yes. How old golfers are getting, no shocker. Well, Tom Gillis is old, but that's why we love him. I mean, Tom Gillis golf instruction, we're talking, you guys right now, you're talking to a pro. Tom Gillis is an absolute pro. I'm dead serious on this. Now you might sit there and go, no, we have a pro golfer in our midst. I've never heard of Tom Gillis. Well, all I have to say is just do a search for Tom Gillis, and you'll find out that he gives golf instruction, some of the best golf instruction that you will ever learn. So you have to show the man some love. You have to show the respect. Or if you don't, then the hard stuff comes at you really hard, really fast. But Tom Gillis is the man, the myth, the legend. He's really good people. And if you haven't checked him out, then you should, because he's awesome. Exactly. He's a pro. Cheap. He requires dinner too. Well, that and a back rub. I mean, you don't think that he doesn't throw me, hundreds of pennies every single time that I see him. Yes, golf royalty. Yes, we have golf royalty right here amongst us, and right now he's blushing, but that's only because, he smacked his own ass. You dirty old man. I'll be back online soon. I'll be back. I will be back online soon. Well, and we look forward to seeing you back. We really do. We really do. Because it's you have been missed, brother. It is so awesome seeing Tom Gillis. I mean, he is a true man. Like none you've ever seen. Oh my God, that's so disgusting. Oh, that they were pulling someone's teeth out, and it looks weird. I don't like showing that to people. I always scroll through these like weirdest things that I can possibly find. I don't know how I manage doing it, but I do find some really, really strange things. Most of it's fake, which makes it even funnier whenever you see like these little fake things that the AI is putting out, and you go, that's pretty damn bad. That's really damn bad. Everybody make sure. Yeah, there we go. Tom Gillis's golf instruction. Show him some love. Everybody have a wonderful day, and stay tuned, buckled up, because this afternoon is going to get crazy. It might get crazier because once things go down with the judge, you're going to find out if the bubble shows up, or if he doesn't show up, or what he does or what he doesn't do. You'll probably hear tonight what the judge's final order is on this particular thing. You have no idea what's going to happen, and trying to guess would be like trying to read the tea leaves. You have to see the whole picture, and I don't have the whole picture, so I can't tell you anything about what's going to happen. But have a good day. Yes, everybody, you should be having a damn good day. If you don't have a good day, then I don't know what to tell you, because the good days are what good days are all about. You have to have one of those wonderful days. Wonderful days. Everybody, see you very soon, because tonight's going to be off the rails. I guarantee you. Peace.
Bless your heart. I thought I was the only mentally challenged one here.
And shine, coffee's brewing, feeling fine. News is out and on the air. Shizzy Whiz nuts wild, but we don't care. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz nuts, start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Headlines spinning in the breeze. Stupid he's such a tease. Sip the Java with a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Spinning in the breeze, stupid jokes, he's such a tease. Sip the Java, wear a smile. Pants are off, but stay a while. Morning Whiz and Coffee. Talk the news, he's a tease. Laugh it off, we're on the go. Shizzy Whiz, let's start the show. Let's go. Get it, yeah, oh yeah. Serious is overrated. Every day we're caffeinated. Talk the town, but in a jest. Morning Whiz is always best. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop. Clock is ticking, time to run. Morning show's a load of fun. Grab your mug, don't spill a drop. Laugh your ass off till you pop.
Oh my god, Shizzy breaks Larry. Shizzy broke Larry.
Oh, yeah.